Rhythm games, am I right? Has there ever been a game genre with more batshit crazy experimentation and genre blending going on in it? I feel like this comes from an innate need for these games to differentiate themselves from the 8 trillion Hatsune Miku games alone that are out there, not to mention every Japanese arcade cabinet these days. And every plastic guitar game? Do you know how many plastic guitar games there are? There are too many plastic guitar games. This ends up spawning some of the most unique games I've ever played. Friday Night Funkin' is a pretty standard rhythm game, but it manages to stick out like a sore thumb thanks to its awesome aesthetic. Everhood, man, is this a game or Yume Nikki the musical? I'll never know for sure. Patapon. Nope, you have been bamboozled. This is a real-time strategy game masquerading as a rhythm game. And the third game is an RPG, but that's not important. All these games I didn't really expect to initially like, since I'm not a huge rhythm gamer to begin with, but the oodles of charm and incredibly fun and addicting gameplay of each got me hooked. All that being said, I have never played anything like Crypt of the NecroDancer. In Crypt of the NecroDancer, you play as Cadence, a charming young woman who I'm sure no one has made any Rule 34 of, as she goes on an epic quest to find her mother and save her father and stuff from the titular NecroDancer, who puts a curse on all that enter his tomb that forces them to dance to the unending rhythm or else have their hearts stopped. The story for this one is kinda generic, but the execution is fabulous, and you didn't really come here for the story, did you? You came here to boogie, and boy oh boy, does this game provide. If you're a longtime fan of my content, and why are you, really, you remember me saying this: I can either play a rhythm game or I can play an action game. You can't make me play both. Well, stoke up the barbecue and get out the molasses, because I'm ready to eat those words. Essentially, the game works on a very simple axiom. Everything in the world happens in 4-4 time. Enemies hop one square to the left, telegraph an attack, and attack you. Well, obviously they don't all do that, or the game would be super easy. Each enemy has their own attack pattern, which is almost like its own little musical composition that you need to dance around just right in order to not get hit. After a certain point, you'll enter what I call the groove. Do you remember how during the Sans fight, eventually you start rhythmically lining up certain parts of the fight with certain bars of Megalovania? No? Just me? Okay, well, that's basically what the groove is. Where, even before even realizing that you're standing next to an enemy, you've already dispatched them masterfully while leaving in between two more. Oh, and prepare to be clusterfucked, because every single thing in the entire game will swarm on your ass if you aren't careful. Some of these guys are straight up evil too, incorporating diagonal attacks, funky movement patterns, and weirder shit, and all in an attempt to make you lose a beat. But don't worry, because this is where the roguelike aspect of the game comes in. Yep, it's another roguelike. Apparently I only play roguelikes now. Each run, you'll have the opportunity to unlock new guys in the lobby, but none of them matter because they all just let you train against specific enemies and bosses. You know, like practice mode in Guitar Hero. Luckily, the last guy you unlock is actually useful and lets you purchase items to immediately use in your next run. Oh fuck, the script is getting all out of order. Wait, why am I writing that it's all out of order and not fixing it? Anyway, each run, you have the potential to grab some diamonds, which increase in abundance for each zone, that you can use to purchase things from either the weapon guy or the magic guy in the lobby, or the guy in the center, but he runs out of upgrades quickly, so don't worry. This worked out fine at first, when you have way less diamonds than items to buy, but since you can't keep diamonds between runs and there's no huge money sink items, eventually you run into this problem where you kill a boss, get 20 diamonds, and then, oh, I can buy one thing, and it costs 3 diamonds. Great, so the rest of these are getting cast into oblivion, I guess, since I can't use them. It balances out, though, with how useful each item is, and picking up even one will radically change how you play. I quickly realized that anything that gave you long range was objectively better since you didn't have to put yourself in an enemy's attack radius, and the cutlass is the objective best weapon in the game because it allows you to negate damage by attacking towards an enemy as they're attacking you. But even stuff like the Cat of Nine Tails, which I'm extraordinarily bad at using, is still fun even if you die immediately. There's also a huge ton of consumables that all do extremely useful things, and armors that are all differently effective but can actually stack in certain cases. In addition to all that, weapons will sometimes have an effect on them, like double damage, health on kill, or damages that scales with the current gold multiple, which you increase by killing guys and then not getting hit or missing a beat. So it's basically a weapon that does more damage if you play well. These can often be bought from the shopkeeper on each floor by collecting gold from enemies, or you could just steal them, but this guy is more dangerous than the shopkeeper in Spelunky, so watch out. At the end of each floor is a mini-boss that you need to kill before advancing, and the 4th floor of every zone has a boss. There's not a lot of actual bosses in the game, but the mini-bosses are nice little road bumps to keep the tension high, except for the Red Dragon. He and his hit scan fire breath can suck my dick, but the rest of them are great. The bosses that there are all super high quality too. King Conga forces you to stop every 4th beat like an actual conga line or you'll lose your multiplier. Deep Blues requires you to have an actual working knowledge of how to play chess to avoid getting hit. Dead Ringer is super high octane, especially after you hit all 4 bells and he starts teledashing all over the place, forcing you to think very quickly or rapidly take tons of damage. And the NecroDancer himself is a puzzle boss at first that makes the panic slowly creep in as you frantically try to solve the gimmick while not getting hit with not one, but 2 characters at once, before turning into an absolute all-out brawl as you chase him around the arena, trying to score another hit as he summons explosions, freezes you in place, and summons mini-bosses. God damn, that's difficult! This is a really awesome way to implement bosses into a rhythm game, so kudos to all around to whoever designed them. Much like The Binding of Isaac, Crypt of the NecroDancer extends its longevity and replayability massively with a whole buttload of additional characters to play. I only completed the game fully with Cadence, but that not only was that not the true ending, there's like 15 more characters if you include the DLC. Alas, the game doesn't give you any rewards or achievements unless you beat all zones mode with each of the characters, which is incredibly difficult. I think this is a tiny missed opportunity to give the player like more unique gear and items in exchange for playing more the way Isaac does, and then it wouldn't be wholly reliant on diamonds for progression, but it's like a small nitpick because the characters I've tried out add a lot of new angles to the game I've never noticed before that make them all fun and challenging to play. They even get their own remixed music for every single floor. Oh shit, I didn't even talk about the music until now! There is not a single bad piece of music in this entire game. Holy shit. I can't even put into words how awesome this is. Just listen to it. That was the theme of the second floor. You cannot put that music that good on the second floor. That is downright insane. Danny Baranovsky, you are killing it, dog. Or you were killing it back in 2015 when this game came out. Anyway, every single track is an absolute joy to listen to, and all of them help you reach the groove in no time flat, so in a way the music being good makes you better at the game? That's just how good it is, bro! And as I just mentioned, every character has their own remix style for every floor, so it's like you're getting access to a free 5 hours of music. And there's so many neat little additions, like how it keeps a track of the shopkeep singing when you're close to the shop, or how it changes from cold to hot based on where you are in the level in Zone 3. Plus, the length of the song is your time limit for the level, around 3 minutes at a time. This is probably the most well-integrated soundtrack into a video game I've ever listened to, and I've played all 3 Patapons. Dude, it's so good! Crypt of the NecroDancer is a literal and figurative jam. Every single part of it is extremely fine-tuned and gives a perfect melody. I did not go in expecting to have as much of a blast as I'm having playing the game, but now I'm wishing for the beat to never stop. Easy 6 out of 6 Rego points. I'd make a joke about this game being in 6/6 time, but that doesn't exist, so oh well.